Ladies and gentlemen, we'll call our meeting to order. Let's stand for prayer and pledge of allegiance. Bow your heads with me, please. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for allowing us to do the work that we're called to do in an environment that's free, an environment, Father, that you've ordained. I pray, Lord, that words, attitudes, actions tonight, Father, will be in accordance with your will, and that you will accomplish what you intend tonight through us, for all of us as citizens, and for us for our citizens. Help us, Father, to understand your wisdom tonight and share it with one another. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Incense salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good little crowd tonight.
That's still European.
Roll call, please.
Terry Lamar,
Here.
Troy Shropshire,
Here.
Dennis Nance,
Here.
Steve Smith, Randy Chitwood,
Here.
Yvette Marham,
Here.
Chris Gantier,
Here.
Laura Seaver.
Item 2, petitions from the audience. I know of a few. Ms. LaValle, could you come, please?
Well, this has been a long time coming, guys, but we got the letter. So Mayor Lees has asked me to read you the letter that we received from the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation on the 17 acres that you all generously gave to Mays County Master Gardeners to do a wildscape. And so it's official. Here we go. City of Pryor Creek and Mayor Larry Lees. Dear Mayor Lees, the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation, ODWC, officially certifies your application of 17 acres of property in Mays County as a wildlife habitat into the official registry of Oklahoma Wildscapes. Your dedicated habitat improvements to benefit multiple wildlife species is commended. The planting of native trees, which we've done, wildflowers and other beneficial land management practices are recognized and appreciated by the ODWC. We look forward to years of enjoyment of Nature Walk by Pryor Creek citizens and visitors. Enclosed, please find your Oklahoma Wildscape sign and your official numbered certificates. 2 certificates have been provided in recognition of the collaboration between the City of Pryor Creek and the Mays County Master Gardeners. So each entity will have a certificate to commemorate this wildlife habitat. Congratulations on the achievement, and thank you for your patience during the application approval process. Awesome. He didn't mean that, actually. The ODWC Wildlife Diversity Program appreciates your dedication to provide wildlife habitat. So what we've done while we were waiting for this to happen, because we were pretty sure it would, we have planted some hickory trees out there. I saw Charles Trammell is in the audience. Charles and I went out and planted a lot of wildflowers last fall. And he sent me another pack that we're planning on planting pretty quick after the rains. And so it's going to be pretty cool. We want to there's a couple of deer families that live out there. And she has her babies every year, and we kind of watch them frolic around. And it's a really cool area. And we hope that at some point it's going to have maybe a nature trail going back there, and maybe some benches and some just a place to be with nature, I guess, is the best way to describe it. That, you know, and it's right here in town, which makes it really awesome. The Mays County Master Gardeners have a lot of things going on around town, and I think I kind of hit on them before, and I'm not going to take up much time, but, you know, we have the labyrinth that is out at the Hidden Park, that if you haven't been by to see it, probably in another couple of weeks. It's going to be pretty awesome. On the same piece of property, but a little bit further north, we have the Monarch Way Station that we've been doing a lot of work on, and MUB has generously agreed to install some spigots out there so we don't have to hand carry water for our 400 plants that we're planting this spring. And so it's coming together as a community. It's cool. I mean, we're doing some fun stuff with the property that was donated by Mr. Giles, and I think it's going to be a great ecoscape, wildscape habitat for years to come. So I thank you for giving us the opportunity to do that, and I hope you guys come out and enjoy it.
Stay right there.
Okay. I hope everybody comes out to enjoy it. It's cool.
So the reason this is not on the agenda, was not posted on the agenda, is because we just received it. We just received it. And so I said, well, let's give Kathy a call and ask her to come and do a petition from the audience. This is a certificate from the Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation Department. This certificate is issued to the city of Pryor Creek and Mays County National Gardens for creating a habitat known as Oklahoma Wildscape WH0492, signed by the Director of Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation and the Supervisor of Wildlife Diversity Program. So this is for you guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations and wonderful job on behalf of our city. Okay, we have another petition from the audience, and that's from Pryor Main Street. Recognize Ms. Meredith Olson.
Hello. Again, I'm Meredith Olson with Pryor Main Street, and many of you might have already seen the PIP announced it, and I know the chamber posted about it, but on the state level, they just announced the last 2 weeks, and I think next week they're announcing one more set of nominees for Oklahoma Main Street awards that are going to be given out May 2nd. Our mayor was recognized as, hang on, let me find it and read it so I don't mess it all up. These category, I should have had this all. These awards category, this was highlighted for his business, the volunteers, outstanding public official. Each award was submitted by 44 Main Street programs, showcases the creativity and participation towards increasing revenue and spurring job creation for their historic commercial business districts. And each one can nominate 2. So that could be out of 88. He was. So congratulations on your nomination. Out of 3, it was Pryor, Larry Lees, Woodward's, Rachel Van Horn, and Yukon Shelley Selby. So that was very exciting. But then yesterday as well, I was like, this has to be announced. Our very own Jenny LaFave was announced as Director of the Year. Woo! Oklahoma. Nominations. So this is huge. This was so huge. So it is called the Watonga Bob Shoemaker Award for the Program Director of the Year. Jenny not only was she nominated for this, along with Cindy from Sapulpa and Macy from Ponca City, but she has been asked to speak at the national conference. So I just want you guys to know, you guys might just see us doing little events and putting in flowers and doing stuff, but Jenny is a Main Street rock star. You guys don't even, people, they're always wanting to come down. We've had state and nationals come and visit us. and to talk about all the things, like she, did the streets, worked tirelessly with a group of people for the streetscape program, and then worked on the grant, which was super hard. I tried to help her, and finally she said, if you could just do this, I'll do this. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Grant writing's tough. And then she got the TSEC grant, and then we're waiting to hear from the TAP grant. She's going to be speaking in Boston next week, like a national. So Pryor is not only, so this is just something positive for Pryor. I just want to promote positivity, and so this is very exciting and a big deal. And all eyes, not all eyes, she said humbly, all eyes in the whole world in Main Street are on Pryor, and are really impressed with Pryor and all of the moves, the big moves that we're making. And anyway, we appreciate Mayor Lee's, we appreciate Jenny's leadership and vision and tireless work, and I'm just excited to be a piece of the small pie. So I just wanted to share that with everyone.
Thank you. We're humbled.
That was just supposed to be yours, but.
I know.
We're humbled, and it is about the citizens. It's about every citizen. So it's a pleasure to be able to serve. Okay, we have one more petition from the audience that called in. Is there Robert Morgan in the room? No? All right. We'll move right along then. Item 3, department head reports. We have emergency management, no report. Fire department, recognize BK Young.
Been one of those months for maintenance. Luckily, the boys have been able to fix quite a bit of it. The ladder truck's still down. It's got to go to a specialty shop to get fixed and put back in service. I'm not going to name any names, but somebody's supposed to finish some plumbing for me that he's been working on. So,
I was gonna say, there's a clock running.
well, that's what, so depending on how all that goes, I'll let you know by Thursday. You work Thursday? Depending Thursday, we'll figure all that other stuff out. No, but Paul and his crew's been doing some work there, but the boys have really been stepping up and helping us get some things done. And it's nice when you can go chase down the parts, and the boys and James and them can square things away for you.
Very good. Any questions? Thanks, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, did you have a building inspector report?
The building, I skipped over that. I'm sorry. There is no building inspector report tonight. Thank you. All right. Golf. Recognize Mr. Dennis Bowman.
Good evening, everyone. So we have a lot of events coming up. So we've passed out some of the paperwork that the city clerk's office gave you was the U.S. Kids Tournament. And I just wanted you to see that. We had about 80 kids come out and play, and they come from all over Oklahoma, some of them from Arkansas, some of them from Kansas, Missouri. So I just like for you to see, where those kids come from. And of course, they bring 2 or 3 parents with them, grandparents. And so from 80 kids, we probably had, 350 people out there. This was Sunday. So we've done this tournament in the fall and in the spring now, so we plan on doing it again this fall, hopefully. And it's a fun deal. Get those kids. They ages from 5 all the way up to 17, 18-year-olds. So anyway, that's a really good event. Also, I passed out a bunch of paperwork for all the upcoming tournaments we have just in the near future, next 30, 40 days. One that I didn't pass out because it's already filled up is the Wagner Special Olympics. That'll be this Saturday. So we're raising, some good money for the Wagner people down there, and they've had about 100 people coming out Saturday morning. So, and most of all those people are from Wagner, so that's kind of good. So. The next tournament we're going to have, it's the one that I passed out to you, is for the Bradford Christian School. It's the trying to raise some money for their golf team, and so if you know of anybody who'd like to play in that, help support them, that would be great. Be sure and all these flyers that I have, you know, if you'll like us on Facebook, share all the stuff, it really helps. I'll tell you a quick interesting story. Went to Tulsa one evening last week, watched my little grandson play soccer, and we got done, went to eat, and seen somebody in the restaurant I knew. I go over and talk to him, and he says, I see you're having a bunch of tournaments over at Pryor. I said, yeah, we got a lot of good stuff going. You know, we raised a lot of money. And he said, well, I seen it on the chamber Facebook.
Come on.
So a big shout out to Houston. Without even asking them, they posted a very nice post about all the upcoming events that we have. And these people live in Owasso, so it's crazy. You know, that stuff really reaches out. Houston, we appreciate you and your team for doing that. So the next tournament we're going to have is the Brown and Brown Special Olympics, and that's April 21st. And you'll have sign-up flyers, sponsorships, all the information you need should be there. We're also doing on April 29th the Saratoga Masters, kind of in conjunction with the Masters tournament in Augusta National. So Saratoga, hope we can raise a bunch of money for them. And then the next one that you have, which is really a nice flyer. You know, it's a great flyer. These people did a great job. It's the Pryor Main Street for Cinco de Mayo. So that will be on May the 5th. So.
Be a taco at every hole.
Yes. Yep. Be taco. Exactly. So, be sure and just, you know, try to help us spread the word, because all this money that we raise, you know, helps our community and other people. So the more that we can all do, pitch in and like and share, and even if you don't know anybody, a lot of times you share it on your Facebook or something, somebody else will pick it up. But that's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Good report.
I have extra copies if anybody needs it.
Anybody? All right, library. Ms. Carrie Rarrett.
And just to build on Dennis's comments about Facebook, the way the algorithms work for Facebook is that the more people who engage initially after a post is up, the wider Facebook will spread that post. So even if you're not necessarily sharing it on your account, if you like things or interact with it in some way, the Facebook algorithm will kick in and it will be shared to a wider audience. Because if you look on your Facebook, you don't see everything in your news feed. And it's because the algorithm hasn't kicked in. So the more we do like and share and all that stuff, the better it is for all of our organizations promoting through Facebook. But that's not what I was here to talk about. So our flooring is finished at the library and it is beautiful. If you haven't been in to see it yet, please do come in. It's like that blue carpet was meant to be there from the beginning. It makes the ceramic tile in the lobby look really, really pretty. And then we did the LVT, the wood-looking floor in the local history area, which makes that area look bigger and more important. And it all flows together really nicely. So please definitely come and check it out, especially if you haven't been since we reopened. Our door counters are ordered, and I'm hoping that they will get here quickly so we can get door counts going again. You also have your statistics sheet that I handed out. We had 115 new accounts in February, which is pretty impressive. The other impressive number, we had 575 people attend an event or program that the library sponsored. This is a lot of outreach as well. We had a lot of outreach for adults, and then Autumn spent like a whole week at the middle school, and so that counts as outreach for us. But that's pretty much all I've got. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Very good.
All right.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks.
Thank you. Parks and Cemetery,
We got a letter on that.
no report. Police and Animal Shelter, Chief Nichols.
Mayor, council, I don't have anything tonight unless you all have something. Animal control's still out there busy. Becky's not here tonight.
Thank you very much.
Our stats will be in next council meeting's agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right, Rec Center. Recognize Miss Jessica Tiger.
Hello. Just the biggest thing is that we had an exciting day at the rec center. Our new pool heater is in. So when I left a few minutes ago, it was close to being turned on. Everything was hooked up. So we're very, very excited about that. One thing I want everybody to make sure they understand why this is such a great thing is the last one operated on a burner system. So we would have to kind of figure out how many burners to run for how long, and then how long to turn it off, and then pray that we stayed at the same temperature, which we never did. So this has a thermostat, so we're gonna be able to set it on 87 degrees. It's gonna stay on 87 degrees, and that's gonna make our members happy and make Jackie happy. So we're really looking forward to it. And she's done a great job making sure to see this project through. And then just a couple other things. I've got a couple of big HVAC issues that will come to the board on April 3rd, and then to you all shortly after, some fixes that we are getting bids on. And then I want to make sure the paper knows we have an Easter egg hunt in the pool. This is something that, I think this is our 3rd year to do that, so the kids can get in the water and search and hunt for Easter eggs, and we have special prizes. So that'll be Easter weekend, Saturday the 8th at 10 a.m. from 10 to 11. And then other than that, just working on transition. Once Mike hopefully gets hired tonight, then he'll start tomorrow, and we'll have about a week to hand the baton over. So and make that and get him caught up as well as we can. So have him ready to go. Anything else?
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Street Department, there's no report tonight. Buddy had to take care of a sick daughter tonight, so he called in. He's not here tonight. Item 4, we'll move on to mayor's report. Item A, discussion possible action regarding recommendations from the PYO ad hoc committee. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion Shropshire, second Chitwood. Mr. Lamar.
Thank you. The PYO ad hoc committee has been meeting since last fall, and we have had a lot of discussion on how to proceed and what should be done with this building. It's kind of a subject that's well known in the community, that there's a lot of people that think that this building should be saved. There's a lot of people that think it should just go, that it's beyond its time. The ad hoc committee's been meeting. We looked at several different options. We were hoping to get a couple of outside type historical societies to get involved and maybe want to take over that building for a future museum and get it remodeled and et cetera. But that has fallen through. And there are multiple issues with that building, pro and con, mostly cons, that it is, it's going on its 82nd year in existence. It has been abandoned now for several years. It's had water leaks. It's got now, and fortunately, we did come to you all, the council, to ask you to spend $30,000 to fix these leaks, and they have been fixed. But last week, we found out that 2 weeks ago, or about 3 weeks ago, we found out that there's now, and I told you this last council meeting, there is a underground water leak in the northwest corner, that water is coming up through the concrete, and I'm speculating that that's as a result of years ago from when the new highway came through. The sidewalk in the front of the building is kind of the drain for that water, and it's coming up inside the building now. The mayor had told me that several years ago that kind of was discovered too, in the sense that Mr. Powell had recommended back then. How long ago was that, about the sump pump?
About 2015.
Okay, about 2015, recommended it would cost tens of thousands of dollars possibly to put a sump pump in to fix that leak. And so now we have that issue. The leaks in the roof have been stopped, and there are no, to prevent the damage, further damage from the building. But it's been estimated that it could cost, and just verbally estimated, it could cost maybe $1 million or so to get it up and going. That's a lot of money. We did have the Main Street architect come and do a free examination of the building back in December timeframe, I think it was, or end of November. And he said that the building is sound and that it is it's got the potential to be salvaged and reused. And he gave us some schematic drawings of what it could look like with people sitting around partying, et cetera. And I'm very, very thankful to Jenny to get that gentleman over here from Tulsa to provide that architect service for free. But anyway, long story short, the committee finally met last week after 3 meetings in a row and voted to recommend to the city that it's outlived its purpose. And the city would have, a couple of options on that, to either tear the building, you go to the expense to tear the building down, and then you have a little oblong shaped property that one of the cons is that there's no parking for the facility. So anyway, the committee is recommending that after a lot of soul searching, that it's outlisted its existence. There's a lot of event centers in the community that we have that we didn't have. Kids today don't use that kind of facility. They'd rather stay at home or go other places and do things on this or other bigger bigger devices. The proms are held, not I guess sponsored by the school anymore, and they're held in places in Tulsa, et cetera. And there's just too many event centers that place could. Anyway, we were going to recommend that the city not to put it up for sale. And of course that's going to be up to the city council to decide the ultimate fate of that. There's still, I personally am not expecting you to vote on that tonight to decide, because there's probably need to be some discussion about that for the future, about whether or not the council even wants to pursue that, because that's just our recommendation. You may want to save it and keep it going for several more years to hopefully come up with some money to fix it up or something. Hopefully some philanthropist, school donor, somebody maybe can come up with their little magic leprechaun pot of gold and donate it to the city to do something with the building. But anyway, that's our recommendation.
Can you remind us who was on that committee?
Yes, I will. The committee was chaired by me. It was Jack Carty, Jenny LaFave, Brent Taylor, and Monty Littlefield. If we do want to put it up for sale, again, it has been enclosed, and there's a lot of stench and moisture in that building. And like I mentioned last time, we would like to, with the spring cleanup coming, we want to open it up, air it out, and we're going to get the Thunderbird cadets to come and do the cleanup of it. We're going to get a dumpster, get a lot of that stuff out of there to where it kind of will help it get some fresh air, which could also help in the long run with maybe showing it off to potential buyers. And again, that would be totally up to the council, whether you want to declare it surplus and put it up for public bid or with a realtor, or however the city wants to do that. But that's the committee's recommendation at this time.
Thank you.
And that's all I
I
have.
would like to see that come up for discussion in the next month or so, just so that we could take an honest look at it.
Then perhaps a motion to table would be appropriate.
I'll change my motion to table.
I'll change my second.
Motion to table Shropshire, second Chitwood. Is there other discussion? Motion to table, call for vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Thank you, Ad hoc Committee, for your work. I really appreciate it. And you've gone beyond the call. Thank you. Item B, mid-year, December 31st, 2022 budget review. Jeff Coker. Mr. Coker. Welcome again to the podium, sir.
If you're factual,
Everybody-
I'm thankful.
You're a VIP.
Have one of these? Yes, sir. All right. We'll just look at the numbers. In the first column, I have numbers for the current year, 2022. Revenues and expenditures. And you'll notice that the revenues are under the expenditures by 656,000. Compared to last year at this time, the revenues pretty much the same. Now, I know we've had some revenues down, but probably some up, it just depends, but right now, 50% of last year's revenues is about where we are at this point. Our expenditures, however, we had almost 4 million at this point in December 21. At 22, we have that 4.5 million, so a difference of about 600,000. So right now, at the end of December, that is what we've overspent. Well, not overspent necessarily, but our expenditures exceeded our revenues.
Right.
Okay, so
Very good.
that's the review.
Counselor?
What did you discover to be some of the principal causes?
Well, it's just a lot of little things. Expenses all over are up. We did have some expenses that were placed in the general fund that I think were, should be allocated to other funds. And I think we've done some of that, and then some of that is being looked at, like the fleet insurance and whatnot. We've had a lot of repairs and maintenance in the police department that, as you can see, each department has their difference listed there. I'm not sure what every one of them is. There's an outside services that in the general fund that in the general department of the general fund that was almost at full expenditure. Part of it is we transferred, now, part of it we transferred money to the EDTA of 50,000, and that would be in the, which fund is that? In the commercial development. That's why it's 64,000 over from the previous year, because we did not have that 50,000 in the previous year.
And that's a one-time deal, isn't it?
It is a one-time deal, so while I took 50%, that won't happen again in the second half of the year. But there might be things that will happen in the second half that I don't have here, so I did that just to be safe. A lot of it is salaries and personnel costs that probably have gone up, that I'm not sure why. I haven't really investigated why. I just haven't had that ability or haven't had that time yet. But those are the areas, but it's just really sort of a general, there's not like one huge thing that just says, boom, here we are. This is it. This is what caused it. It's just, almost, I hate to say it, but like inflation. You know, and unfortunately, Pryor can't raise its revenues to compensate for increased costs. Like, well, okay, I should say the general fund can't increase its revenues. Other areas such as like the golf course and the rec center, they can adjust should they need to, but general fund is sort of stuck.
Does our unallocated reserves have any kind of a buffer that would help us if this trend continues?
Not that much, no.
Okay.
What's the current balance of the unallocated reserves?
Well, you know, the thing is, we have that unallocated reserve that is, we really haven't touched in the budget, but what you can look at right now is your carryover from the previous year will go down by the amount that you've overspent from the revenues. Okay, so if you had 2 million, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but let's just say you had 2 million carryover from the previous year, subtract the difference, and that's what you will have the next year, which is not nearly the same.
Do we have
To
any-
answer your question, there is currently $185,578.22 in the unallocated reserves. It was budgeted in at $186,000.
See, we really haven't spent out of that. It's just that we're just, like if fuel costs, for example, have gone, you know, way up. So we've been spending out of the fuel, and eventually we'll hit 100% long before probably the end of the year. So at that point in time, we have to decide where we're gonna, move that other budget from, or cut back on not buying any fuel, which I don't think that will be possible, but.
So this is a 6-month trend. I think later in the packet, we have an 8-month trend, and I noticed that it's still continuing to increase the deficit.
Well, from what I understand, and from what, of course, I don't look at each month financial statements, because I do this mid-year review. Each month is a negative,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
and it's not necessarily a huge negative every month, but it's a negative, and so basically, unless, I don't see it stopping unless we, do something, I guess, cut back, stop spending.
Thank you.
And you're saying that this is only affecting right now the general fund?
Actually, all the other funds are doing pretty well. Like I said, the other funds are in pretty good shape. Now, the only other fund that really doesn't have that this would affect are the, like, street and alley. But see, we haven't done any street projects, really, to be honest. So we can look and see what we've got left and do street projects based on that. Because the street department also relies upon sales tax, which we really can't change.
So at this point, the street department's in good shape.
It is in good shape because we haven't really done much with that yet. I mean, we've done little things, but not.
And as your comments have indicated, there have been allocations that have come out of the general fund that should have been allocated in other funds.
Some
And
of
so
those-
we're,
some
and
of
so
those should have been.
what we've done is we've made some of those, we've recognized that, and we've reallocated those things appropriately.
And I
When will
think-
they show up?
I'm sorry?
When will they show up to cut these deficits?
Those allocations, whenever we make them, then they will show up. They will
Okay, but they haven't been, this doesn't reflect that.
No, this does not reflect that. So the mid-year review does not reflect that.
Okay,
So going forward, does reflect it.
okay.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
No, I think
So
every
when
household.
Mayor, when are those transfers gonna be made to kind of get a better picture of what we
So
have
some,
financially?
yeah, some of them have been made. The insurance items have been reallocated to the property insurance, to street and to golf and to the rec center. There's some fleet insurance that needs to be need to get that over to the street department. I mean, we're still working on some of that.
How much is that gonna change the bottom line?
I don't know.
Okay,
I mean, I haven't seen any figures one way or the other, so at this time, I'm just, probably shouldn't say, because I just don't know.
okay.
I'm hoping a lot, but.
One of the things that we have done is we have notified all of our department heads that spend out of the general fund. And so that trend is watch every penny that you spend right now. And so that'll happen throughout, through the rest of the year.
And we have a lot of expenses at the first of the year that we don't have the
There are
last
some of
the
that,
year.
and that might be reflected,
Yeah, it is.
and that might make the numbers look a little worse than they really are, but I'd rather you have them look worse than look better and then find out at the end it's wrong, so.
Are there any other questions for Jeff?
No, thank you,
Thank you.
Well,
appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, item C, discussion and possible action regarding the resignation of Steve Smith from City Council, Ward 2, effective March 10, 2023.
Motion.
Second.
Here's a motion, Gantier. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Nance. You know that Mr. Smith is in New York, and he's taking care of family there. He's had a death in the family, and his resignation indicates that he will not be here for an extended period of time. And so he has resigned his post. And I would like to echo and reflect the good job that Mr. Steve Smith has done on our city council since he has served. And he is missed. He's also served as chairman of the street committee, and he has served his post very well. Other comments?
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Call for vote?
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chipwood,
Yes.
Parham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item D, discussion and possible action regarding the nomination of Travis Malure to replace Steve Smith at City Council Ward 2, term expiring April 30, 2024.
Motion.
Second.
Motion Nance, second Shropshire. Mr. Malure is here tonight.
Actually, Mr. Mayor, I'd actually like to amend my motion to table this. And the reason is, you called me about a week and a half ago to let me know that Steve had resigned, and asking me to help you pray to decide who might be a good candidate. And I agree with what you said back then, was that you were going to wait till after the election to make a nomination. And so I was kind of surprised that this was on the agenda tonight. Nothing against Mr. Malure. Everybody that I've talked to says he's awesome. He might be overqualified to be up here. But I think it is right what you said on our phone conversation about a week and a half ago, to wait until after the election. So I would actually like to amend my motion to table.
Can I ask a question? Am I allowed to ask a question at this moment?
Well, I'll second your
Let's get a
motion to
let's
table.
get a second to the table.
Yeah,
Go to-
now, I guess you can.
Yes, discussion?
So if it's after the election, does it matter? It's the same nomination. I'm assuming,
Well, potentially, if there's a new mayor, it would give them an opportunity to have input.
but he doesn't get sworn in until later. True?
True, but, you know, I agree
Like the
with
new
what
mayor
was
doesn't get
stated.
sworn in until a month later, right?
Can I have to make a motion to make no action
I think we have to vote on the table, don't
on
we?
the table? Okay. But you guys do see my point, correct?
Yes, sir, I do. Procedural.
And listen,
awkwardness.
I don't talk a lot on here, and I don't try to pick at anything, but that's the conversation we had, Mr. Mayor.
Yes. I also had that conversation with others on council.
Okay.
Also had that conversation with, I tried to get some wise counsel.
Sure.
And you know that I do make it a matter of prayer. And
Right.
I felt confident about moving forward. And
What changed from when you talked to me?
just the counsel that I got. I got counsel from a pastor in town. I got counsel from an attorney, from our city attorney. I got counsel from others. This was the direction that I felt like that I needed to go, and so I did go seek that counsel. And perhaps I need to apologize to you for not calling you. But that was the way I felt led to go, and so that was the action that I took.
Okay.
So the counsel from the city attorney, and is that the pastor of the gentleman that's being recommended, that you got counsel from?
I got counsel from that pastor, yes.
Okay.
And I'm not picking at your counsel or that. I'm just curious what changed, because you told me that it was the correct thing to do. I didn't say that. That was what you were telling me on the
Yeah.
phone.
Yep.
And I agreed with that. And again, I feel bad for Mr. Malou, because I met him just before we got started, and I already like him. And everybody I've talked to says he's great. And I know that I can already hear some of you in your head, well, what's the difference? Well, it is a difference to me. And if it's okay with you guys, if it doesn't matter, then why can't we table it?
Other discussion?
I was just curious, like, did it matter if it was 1 week or we wait 2 weeks?
It does to me, but that's up to
Okay,
you guys.
no, I respect you, Dennis. You know I do.
Is there other discussion? So there's a motion to table and a second. Terry, we're gonna,
No?
I thought, okay, thought you were. Call for vote.
Nance?
Yes.
Sherwood?
Yes.
Barham?
Yes.
Gantier?
Yes.
Lamar?
Yes.
Shropshire?
No.
Motion carries to table. Thank you for your attendance today, Travis. I appreciate you.
And I do want to reiterate, absolutely nothing against you at all. I have not heard or seen anything that would make it a personal.
Very good. We'll move on to item E.
So are we tabling this till the next meeting,
The motion was to table. The motion did not give a time.
That's true.
Which was why I asked my question. But I do respect you. And I know
Sure.
you give it a lot of thought before you.
Do we need a time frame?
We've already voted.
Can't now, we've already voted on it.
Not necessarily.
It's been tabled.
It's been tabled.
But, I mean, we're lifting something potentially off the table just in the agenda later on. It can become any time,
That's correct.
so it's.
All right. Moving on to item E, discussion and possible action regarding the resignation of Lori Seaver from City Council Ward Number 4, effective March 21st, 2023.
Motion.
Motion
Second.
Gantier, second Chitwood. Ms. Seaver, renting an abode in Ward 4, and that abode went on the market, and then it sold the next day, and she will be have to be moving out of that ward, so she tenders her resignation. I would like to voice that I appreciate her participation on city council. She's done so faithfully. Other discussion?
Oh, thank her for her time on the council.
Thanks, Lori.
Yeah.
Yep.
Service to the
Thank you,
city.
Lori.
I think I do want to say something.
Sure.
I would just encourage anyone to call and ask lots of questions before assumptions are made as to why somebody resigns, why somebody gets appointed, why somebody doesn't get appointed, the timeline that all happens. There's two sides to every story. As far as I know, I immediately picked up the phone to check on Lori, make sure she was okay. And then you look at social media, you look at articles in the paper, articles on the PIP, and it draws conclusions that are false. And so I would just encourage every single person, before you immediately jump to the wrong conclusion, do your homework. Because these are people's lives, these are people's families, and it's hurtful. It's really hurtful what somebody's already currently going through. She's served a lot. She's served a lot in this community, and she still has more to give, which is exciting. And I want to make sure that we all are respectful before we immediately jump on and assume. I think I'm done.
Thank you. Other comments? Lori, thanks for your service.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
listening in.
She didn't.
Call for vote?
Chitwood?
Yes.
Barham?
Yes.
Gantier?
Yes.
Lamar?
Yes.
Shropshire?
Yes.
Nance?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item F, discussion and possible action regarding approval to pay the CMS Willowbrook application certificate for payment number 25 in the amount of $24,253.16 from Fund 87. There's a Scrivener error there. That's from Fund 87 regarding the Emergency Center and Library Expansion Project. Is there a motion? Is there a motion?
Motion, no action.
There's a motion for no action. Is there a second for no action?
Is this the one where we were supposed to have another copy, or it got emailed?
Yes.
Correct.
It got emailed, and there's also another copy put on your desk. If there is not a second for no action, then is there a motion for approval?
We haven't had time to look at all of that. We just got it today.
We'll have to share.
I'll second Chris's motion. We
There's a
just got that extra packet on that today and haven't had time to study it.
All right. There is a motion for no action.
How,
May I lead you through it?
yes, well, and legally, how much time do we have?
So these are, this is pay application, CMS Willowbrook, and they're wanting to pay subcontractors who have completed work. They're also wanting to pay for retainage on work that they have done. The amount requested is $24,253.16. On the page that you have that has the highlights on it, you'll see item 3100 for folding partitions.
I haven't seen any.
Okay,
Where's the highlights
is
at?
this
What page
4F?
is this on?
okay, did you not get a packet on the desk that is a pay app?
I thought this was it, and I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, all right, well, maybe my copy is highlighted and yours is not. If you wouldn't mind to let me walk you through it. It is item 3100 on page 4 of 17.
I don't know.
Go to your email.
All right,
Anything in this?
You didn't get one either?
I don't think so.
Apparently they didn't all get them, Mayor.
all right.
So who up here has one in their hand besides the mayor and Choya?
I have one, but I came and got it earlier today.
I called for it earlier today, but that was,
Requested it.
I was gonna say, I think in the email it said if we wanted it printed off, let them know. But I was,
So there's a
I was
problem
on
when
the,
we,
I was in the
there's a
city.
problem when we printed the packet, in that all the pages from the pay app were not in the packet. So
Yeah.
that's where the problem was. All right, so,
I guess we don't have all the information yet for everybody.
So,
Wait, really?
I apologize, because
well,
I
then it would be best,
worked all day.
then it would be best to do a no action. Okay? If you don't have a way to evaluate it.
Right.
Especially since,
Fair deal.
especially since how we're paying it, we have to.
Should probably
Those
table
funds.
that to the next meeting
Table.
instead of just voting no action.
I will amend my motion to table versus no action.
Thank you, Mr. Gantier. Who seconded?
I did, and I will second that to
Table
move it to the
to
next meeting.
Table.
Table,
Very
to
good.
the next meeting.
Call for vote?
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Motion carries to table. Item 5, City Attorney Report. Discussion possible action to confirm and approve deed from city to county on sale of surplus old fire station, lots 1 and 4, and north 15 feet in block 23, original town of Pryor Creek, purchase price by county to city, was $90,000 for the city's half interest in the property. Is there a motion?
Yes, I make the motion.
Second.
Second it.
Motion Lamar, second Shropshire. This is on page 9 through 13 in the packet. Mr. Ritchie, would you like to comment?
Completed the sale. Are there any questions?
And I definitely agree with you with the way you handled this quitclaim deed. I think it's best way.
Quick and easy.
Very good. Call for vote.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Arham.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 6, discussion possible action on consent agenda. Item A, approve minutes, March 7, 2023, council meeting. Item B, approve payroll purchase orders through March 31, 2023. Item C, approve claims for purchase orders through March 21, 2023. Item D, acknowledge receipt of deficient purchase orders. Item E, approve January 2023 appropriations request. Item F, approve February 2023 appropriations request. Item G, discussion possible action regarding accepting Randy Gibbs' retirement from the Pryor Creek Fire Department effective March 31, 2023. Item H, discussion possible action regarding closing South Adair Street from Graham Avenue to Southeast First Street on Thursday, April 27, 2023, from 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. for the Pryor Main Street Farm to Table event. Item I, discussion possible action regarding audit agreement with Hood and Associates for fiscal year ending June 30, 2022, in the amount of, and there is a Scrivener error there as well, in the amount of $17,500. Item J, discussion possible action regarding hiring Retirement LLC as a third-party administrator of the city's money purchase plan and the 457 plan. Item K, discussion possible action regarding updating to a more efficient timekeeping system and authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement with Time Clocks Plus for new time clocks for city employees for 2023-2024 fiscal year. The implementation, licensing, and maintenance are proposed to pay from general software account 02-201-5260 in an estimated amount of $17,514.31. The individual time clock equipment and shipping are proposed to pay from the various departments, capital outlay, equipment accounts, which are listed below. The action, this action changes our timekeeping vendor from iSolved Time to Time Clocks Plus. Item L, discussion of possible action regarding hiring Michael K. Moore for the director position, Pryor Creek Recreation Center, Range G, Step 4, annual wage $65,643, effective March 22, 2023. Item M, discussion possible action regarding an expenditure in the amount of $3,500 to Jayco Heat and Air for temporary repair of Recreation Center pool heater from Aquatics Repair and Maintenance Account 848465091. Item N, discussion possible action regarding approval of a journal entry moving and expenditure in the amount of $18,810.63 from Golf Repair and Maintenance Account 414155092 to Golf Capital Outlay Account 414155411. This expenditure was for pump equipment. The original council action was from July 19, 2022. Item, excuse me. Item O, discussion possible action regarding approval of a journal entry moving an expenditure in the amount of $14,000 from Recreation Repair and Maintenance Account 848455091 to Aquatics Repair and Maintenance Account 848465091 due to substantial unforeseen repair and maintenance in number 846 Aquatics. The 845 Recreation account has surplus. Item P, discussion possible action to pay OMAG for 2 property insurance invoices totaling $6,195 for additional premium regarding the Emergency Center Library Expansion Building Project and contents and expensing the transaction from General Insurance Property Account 02-201-5045. Item Q, Discussion and possible action regarding the hotel motel final expense report from Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $2,300 for the 2022 Nativity Museum Christmas pop-up from Hotel Motel Chamber account 757555090. Item R, discussion and possible action regarding hotel motel final expense report from Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $2,900 for the 2022 Christmas Parade of Lights from Hotel Motel Chamber account number 75755, and this is also a Scrivener's error, correct to 5092. Item S, discussion, possible action regarding the hotel motel final expense report for Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $5,000 for the 2023 OK Tackle Hunting Boat Show from Hotel Motel Chamber account 757555090. Item T, discussion possible action regarding moving from the table item 6I from the February 7, 2023 council meeting. Item U, discussion possible action regarding transferring 2 Dell Optiplex 3020 desktop computers and 2 monitors from the Pryor Library to the Golf Department. Item V, discussion possible action regarding declaring surplus following computers at the Pryor Library to be destroyed at an upcoming teen night program. Sounds like fun.
Get out your goggles.
Yeah.
Bullet 1, 1 Acer TravelMate 4060 laptop. Bullet 2, 2 Dell Vostro 3750 laptops. Bullet 3, 2 Dell Optiplex 3010 desktops. And bullet 4, 3 Dell Optiplex 3020 desktops. Item W, discussion and possible action regarding declaring surplus the following computers at Pryor Library to be sold by sealed bid. Bullet 1, 5 Dell Vostro 3750 laptops, some may be missing charging cables. Bullet 2, 1 Dell Optiplex 390 desktop. Bullet 3, 2 Dell Optiplex 3010 desktops. Bullet 4, 5 Dell Optiplex 3020 desktops. Bullet 5, 10 computer monitors. Bids should be received by the Pryor City Clerks by the City Clerk's office by 5 p.m. on Friday, March 31st, 2023. Any computer or monitor not sold will be destroyed in an upcoming teen night program. Item X, discussion possible action regarding transferring desk with hutch, no inventory number, desk 1 in the photos from the Pryor Library to the Golf Department. Item Y, discussion possible action regarding declaring surplus the following desks at the Pryor Library to be sold by sealed bid. Bullet 1, desk unit without hutch, no inventory number. In parentheses, desk 2 in the photos. Bullet 2, desk unit with hutch, inventory number 4588, in parentheses, desk 3 in the photos. It is currently in pieces because it had to be dismantled to move out of the office. Assembled, it is an L-shaped desk with a hutch mounted on the long side. Library staff is unsure if hardware with the desk is all the hardware necessary to reassemble the desk. Bids should be received by City Clerk's office by 5 p.m. on Friday, March 31st, 2023. Any desk not sold will be disposed of. Excuse me. Item Z, discussion possible action regarding proposed street project. Bullet, let's see. Streets encompassed by Green Country Mobile Home Park, A, B, C streets, and pending inclusion of other streets within the park if needed, at an estimated cost of $180,845 and expense from street asphalt overlay account 14145-5410, with a new estimate from engineering and updated estimate for all Green Country Mobile Home Park streets, A through G, is $259,651.50, including asphalt overlay and concrete curb and gutter as required on all Green Country Mobile Home Park streets. Item AA, discussion possible action regarding proposed street project, downtown corridor alleys from Mill to Kauai, either side of Graham Avenue, at an estimated cost of $57,145 and expense from street asphalt overlay account 14145-5410. At further review, the updated estimate is $180,000, $180,577.94 with significant base repair included. Item BB, discussion possible action regarding declaring surplus 19 expired sets of body armor at the Pryor Creek Police Department. Item CC, discussion possible action regarding donation of expired body armor from the Pryor Creek Police Department to Parker Security with waiver of liability. Item DD, discussion possible action regarding declaring surplus approximately 123 bicycles and 3 scooters awarded to the City of Pryor Creek by Mays County District Court. Item EE, discussion possible action regarding donation of bicycles and scooters from the Pryor Creek Police Department to a nonprofit organization. Bicycles and scooters will be cleaned and repaired and given to Mays County children. This is the consent agenda. Which items would council like to remove?
Letter I, J, K, Q, R, S, Z, double B, and double C.
Make sure you got yours right.
And G,
Yeah, G too.
G.
I thought about
Yes.
that one.
Yes, G.
Yep.
Did you say G?
Yeah.
Items called out to remove: item G, item I, J, K, item Q, R, S, item Z, item BB, and CC. Are there any others?
Mayor, I'm going to ask you, the council, to remove AA, DD, and E.
AA, DD, and EE.
Let's just go through all of
Ones we didn't take up.
So please also remove item L.
L. Yeah, I thought about that one too.
Oh, I missed that one. I had it, sir. My bad.
I didn't miss it, but I called it up.
Well, it's right up there next to the box.
Okay, review the list again, removing item G, I, J, K, L, Q, R, S, Z, double A, double B, double C, double D, and double E. I entertain a motion to approve all the items that have not been removed.
So move.
Second?
Gantier, a motion, second Chitwood, call for vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item G, discussion of possible action regarding accepting Randy Gibbs' retirement from Pryor Creek Fire Department effective March 1st, 2023. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion motion Shropshire, second Chitwood. Mr. Gibbs?
Yes, sir.
It has been a pleasure working with you. It has been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you very much.
It seems like a simple thank you for your service is not, doesn't express maybe what we feel or maybe what we think. But thank you so much for your service. How many years?
35 and some change.
So I would also say that those of you who know Erna, she served right along with you. Sure enough. Call for vote?
Shropshire,
Hate to say so, but yes.
Yes.
Chipwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier,
A reluctant yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item I, discussion and possible action regarding audit agreement with Hood and Associates for fiscal year ending June 30, 2022, in the amount of $17,500. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion Chitwood,
Second.
second Shropshire.
Mr. Mayor, one of the reasons I asked this be brought out
Yes.
is it appeared they sent out a form and then they sent out a new one. The only
Yes.
difference I could see was that $10,000 grant that was on that previous one.
That is correct.
I'm assuming, and so I just for clarification, so the citizens know that, I'm assuming that's what the difference was.
Yes, that is the only difference. But I would like to also point out, okay, in regard to this item, that there was $15,000 that was budgeted for this fiscal year to cover that item. So here's what happened, was that $15,500 was the bill from Hood and Associates that came to us in September of this year, and it was for the purpose of doing the audit. And that audit for the previous fiscal year was not able to be done until September of the following fiscal year. All right? So what that means is that the $17,500 out of line item 02-201-5072 will overspend that item by 17,000, actually by, let's see, it'll overspend that item by $18,000.
Would you mind giving
Now,
that
we-
line item again?
Yes, it is 02-201-5072. And that is the general outside service auditor. That is what we annually budget in that line item for the auditing service. So I would be remiss in not drawing that to your attention. We don't really have any choice but to overspend that item.
Yeah.
So we will be careful, if council approves, we will be careful to not overspend that general government section by that amount. So that's the reason why we have that condition. Now, so it's, this is March, and so given this instruction, Hood and Associates will start that audit. It should take them maybe 2 to 4 weeks to do the audit. So that expenditure will come up due this fiscal year, or should come up due this fiscal year, and just, unless there's some kind of a snag. So that's what we can expect. Y'all have any questions for me about that?
You have to have it.
Yeah, we do. We have to have it. It's required by law. So if no other comments or questions, then we'll call for vote.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item J, discussion and possible action regarding hiring Retirement LLC as third-party administrator for the city's money purchase plan and the 457 plan. Is there a motion? Motion
Second.
Chitwood, I'm sorry, motion Gantier, second Chitwood. Would recognize Deputy Clerk Lisa Malone, and would you introduce our guests?
We have Stacy Hitchcock with Retirement LLC, and we have Wes Cyrus, who is our principal rep. And this is not a new service. We are trying to change out Beasley, an old TPA service. So I'll let them tell you about.
When you get a second, we had that question by some of the citizens. Just go with that a little bit. Thank you.
Good evening. I've met some of you guys. I haven't met all of y'all. I'm the financial advisor for the 457 and the money purchase plan for the city. Part of what we do is every single year we look at costs. I heard I'm assuming treasurer say that costs are a little bit high. So we want to make sure that we try to make sure and do everything we can to keep the costs low. One of those things that we look at is our TPA service. A TPA service is something that's very, very, very important to money purchase plans, 457s, 401ks. The current TPA is, what word we used last time? Difficult to work with? Challenging to work with.
Yeah,
That was the word
that was the word.
we used. The current TPA is challenging to work with. Just the timeliness of getting any answers from them, something as simple as a plan change or plan amendment takes basically an act of Congress to get done. So I approached Stacy. I've worked with her many, many times on other plans, similar plans to this, and asked her to come in, give us a quote, see if it would be similar or less, and she was able to come in about the same. About the same was the quote. I think it was just a little bit lower. I think Lisa would agree. It's $805 cheaper yearly, and so I think the biggest, even if there was no cost savings, the access, the rapid response for Stacy and more specifically, mine and Lisa's access to Stacy and her team by far outweighs any cost difference, even if it was the same or slightly higher. So I'm gonna let Stacy talk and just kind of ask her questions for it.
Yeah, any questions you might have, please ask, but we did take a moment and step back and review what was currently in place, what some of the trials and tribulations had been. And so my firm, Retirement LLC, is a CFEC certified third-party administrator. What that means for you is we open our doors to the Center for Fiduciary Excellence to come in and audit our books. So we have processes, procedures all the way down to disaster recovery, which is really just a due diligence check mark. But when we heard some of the concerns, we thought maybe we could do something said differently and help out and make this plan work a little more efficiently. And that's our goal here. And we were able to save some money through fee transparency. We were able to, find there was space for a little bit of savings. We were able to drive the cost down a little. And Lisa will have a day-to-day contact with my team that will help with any issues that come up or help just assist with the day-to-day administration of these two plans. I will say from my perspective, for Lisa, 2 plans is a lot to handle. So she needs that support to help get through those needs of the participants.
She's nodding.
So we are grateful to be part of this. I've actually worked on your plan several times throughout the year, so I'm happy to be here in front of you and look forward to partnering with you in the future.
one thing that bothered me when we were talking about it in the budget committee was that there were people that were under 21 that hadn't been able to get into the plan, and that was something that had been overlooked by the other company.
You're correct.
And that's something that the younger people need to be able to do.
Absolutely.
We had a couple different items like that that had transpired, and the time to repair them was very lengthy, and as it should not have been. So our goal is to get this back on track, make certain we're compliant. Although we are a governmental entity, we still need to remain compliant with everything else. So that's our goal. And to ease administrative burdens.
Comments?
Any other questions?
Comments, questions? I would like to publicly thank Ms. Lisa Malone for the work.
Yes.
Because that's where most of that work lies and does, and she does a very good job. Thank you, Lisa. Any other questions for these fine folks? Thank you you came from Oklahoma City.
I drove in from Tulsa today.
You came from Tulsa.
It's a lovely drive.
All right.
Anytime.
We appreciate you all coming tonight.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments or questions?
Yes, Mayor, which budget item is this coming out of?
Line item?
Which line item?
I think it was a deal here that gave us the,
Lisa, you're going to have to help me with this one.
I actually, I don't make those purchase orders, so I'm not sure.
All right,
It's the same, it would be the same line item we're paying Beasley.
all right. So that's going to come out of the general government portion, and it's going to come out, let me see. That's going to come out of Retirement Plan Administration.
5251?
Yes, 02-201-5251.
Thank you. And then my next question is, what is the cost that we are hiring them at? What are we paying for this? And is it
it's in your
fiscal year to fiscal year or calendar year or?
Yes,
it's in your packet.
please.
So, we had asked that we take over, although you are on a non-calendar year, that we take over immediately for multiple reasons. But we will bill on an annual basis, so that will come out quarterly. And our billables we have waived our document fees, so we're going to, for both plans, there would have been 2 document fees that we waived. And so the annual administration, we bill on a quarterly basis. So every quarter, we will issue a bill for that amount. And then the per participant fees, we bill on a quarterly amount, on a quarterly basis as well. So.
Is that,
There should be no, that is correct.
5,227.
And what you see in the-
Yes.
Yep, what you see in the highlighted below is that revenue offset, that fee transparency that we're bringing to the table, and that's additional revenue that's received from the record-keeping platform that's holding the asset, and we use that to offset your bill going forward.
so that's packet page 28 and 29.
Yes.
Okay, I see that, but my
Also,
concern is that
also to page 30.
in the Retirement Plan Administration
That's what it waived, here's their.
line item, there's only $2,345 left. So is that gonna cover that, or is it not,
I would assume
For the rest of the
for
year.
the rest of the year?
come through.
This,
Yes, for the rest of the year, that should,
Because your year will end mid-year for your budget, you're correct.
and we'll budget, we'll budget for the next fiscal year.
June,
Right.
May, April. Yeah, so we just have one quarter.
754 or 514.
I think they had hiked their prices up too. There was an increase, so probably after Christmas.
Yeah. So what we would see if we took over to date, it takes probably approximately 30 days for us to take ownership of the plan, so to speak. And that's when we will begin the billing process. So we would probably have one bill before your year end,
Fiscal year.
and that into that Q2, so to speak.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, can I ask a couple of questions?
Sure.
The current vendor is who?
Beasley.
And do we have a written agreement with them?
I would have to look that up.
So you,
We had a situation like this here very recently where we had a written agreement. Stacy came in, we sent a letter to Beasley and Company terminating that agreement. And it's a formatted letter that they have, and we enter into the new agreement. They're, at that point in time, obligated to send over any documents that Retirement LLC requests.
And I think it's important to note, this causes absolutely no disruption to participants. What in theory is happening behind the scenes is we're taking over the administration, the number portion of it, the inside's working of a clock, so to speak. So participants would not be aware that this change is going on. It's just going to be business as usual in regard to the retirement plans. So ultimately, we would just obtain those documents, which we got quite a few of them, and then we just begin to partner with the record-keeping platform, which is Principal Financial Group.
So what's the effective date of the change?
We were waiting for this to come through, so our goal would be to probably have it effective and have our name on the plan within, if we get a date signed as of today, we'll request to have access to the documents at Principal Financial Group and access to the account so we can see participants' accounts and do any assistance as needed for Lisa.
So is the effective date of the change tonight?
No,
Or
it'd
is it
probably be May 1.
May 1?
I would say that'd be a pretty comfortable time frame. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, we could certainly, I mean, it really, the window is pretty narrow, so we can make it, April 15th, May 1st, whatever works best. We were just trying to get in green before plan year end, because there's going to be a lot of, we have to do the accounting work for the plan year end, which comes upon us this summer.
is there a fee for canceling with Beasley?
Not current, no. Not the way that the contract was structured, in my opinion, or
Okay.
to my knowledge on that. So I wasn't on the plan when it was implemented. So, and actually Stacy and I were just talking about that, finding out about the plan, the administration of the plan when it was implemented has been an adventure.
So we would have a new agreement with you.
You're
right?
correct, you're
And
correct.
so the initial term of that agreement has to terminate June 30, and then the next term commence so that it corresponds with our fiscal year.
You're correct. What will happen is the plan document, when we prepare them, we'll put those dates in there. So we'll call it a short plan year, where this
Then have a
plan
new
year,
fiscal
yeah, and
year.
then we'll become a full plan year ongoing.
Councilman Shropshire, I believe it was our intention on the O&I committee that when we discussed it, because of the problems that was happening towards our employees,
Right.
we recommended the change happen as quickly as possible
Right.
because of the
Because,
problem.
well, the big thing we were talking about was like the 18-year-olds and up to 21 that were not able to get in the program, which they're legally able to do now. But that's one of the things. There's several things that, and you were having trouble getting responses back from Beasley.
Yes, response time is slow, and that part does affect the employees when they request loans.
Yep.
There have been some that had a lengthy wait. There was no reason why. After people have terminated from the city, it'll be a year later before Beasley calculates the stuff, lets principal know, so we're not getting our forfeitures. There's just a lot of stuff that's adding
Okay,
up.
it's just slow. It's not working.
So I would just ask whoever made the motion to amend their motion for the hiring of Retirement LLC as third-party administrator, replacing Beasley.
Did I make that motion?
You did.
I'll make that adjustment that's recommended.
Second. Needs
Chitwood, I believe. I believe it was.
Yes.
Yes.
I made my motion. My second, excuse me. I was writing it down.
Eva, did you get that?
I think so.
I'm glad you did.
Mr. Ritchie, could you repeat?
It would simply be an amendment of the motion for the hiring of Retirement LLC as the third-party administrator for the city's money purchase plan and the 457 plan, replacing Beasley, and I don't know if that's LLC or what it is. Beasley and Company, in that service.
Very good. Other comments, questions? Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Have a great
it.
evening.
Are you still ready?
I'm ready whenever you are.
Call for vote.
Chitwood?
Yes.
Barham?
Yes.
Gantier?
Yes.
Lamar?
Yes.
Shropshire?
Yes.
Nance?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item K, discussion possible action regarding updating to a more efficient timekeeping system and authorizing mayor to sign an agreement with Time Clocks Plus for new time clocks for city employees for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. The implementation, licensing, and maintenance are proposed to pay from general software account 02-201-5260 in an estimated amount of $17,514.31. The individual time clock equipment and shipping are proposed to pay from the various departments' capital outlay equipment accounts that are listed below. This action changes our timekeeping vendor from iSolve Time to Time Clocks Plus. Is there a motion?
Motion. A second.
Motion Shropshire, second Chitwood. Discussion. Recognize also, again, Ms. Lisa Malone.
So we are in desperate need of an updated timekeeping system, one that is really more efficient, user-friendly, all the way from my desk down to the employee, and one that does not actually require outside computers like phones or laptops aside from the clocks to be able to function with it. So we are requesting that we go ahead and upgrade to Time Clocks Plus. And if y'all have any questions,
I believe what you said, that's actually going to be a touchscreen time clock.
touch screen time clock. On the time clocks, the employees will be able to view their time cards. And right now, they're having to find some way to log on to the web to verify their time, because we do require that they sign their time cards, verifying that they are correct. That is an item that we get audited on. So it would be very nice for the employees to be able to do it right there, see everything very easily. And then if there are issues, it'd be easier for them to notice and be able to get to me to make sure their time gets corrected.
Okay.
I do have a question. I see where it's calling for $17,514 and some change, but on this order form, it's showing $40,541.06. Are we getting the RDT plus fingerprint?
Yes, we're getting 11 clocks. The clocks are coming out of each department's capital outlay account. That's on the table after the agenda item. The 17,514 is coming out of the general account, and that's for our possible expenditure for the time it takes the company to build our database. That's an estimated 36 hours. If we do not use 36 hours, we will not be billed 36 hours. It's also for the 150 licenses we need, and our hardware support and maintenance.
On page 36 of the packet, there's a 4.1 biometric data. To the extent that client collects, captures, and stores or otherwise uses biometric data relating to an individual, client must first inform individual from whom biometric data will be collected in writing, and prior to collecting his or her biometric data, that biometric data is being collected, stored, and/or used, indicate in writing the specific purpose, which may not be other than employment-related purposes and length of time for which biometric data is being collected, stored, and it goes on to talk some more. Do we, with them scanning the fingerprint, are they gonna be collecting data? And if so, do we have a written policy? Because if we don't, I'd like to see that before I'd even entertain considering that, to
There
protect our
was-
employees' privacy.
There was a federal statute that was just passed, but this is a temporary template of a fingerprint not associated with particularly a person name. It's a random number in this, it's like you're typing in a number, doing a fingerprint. So the company themselves do not know, they don't keep the data. Once somebody is terminated or resigns, whatever, all that information goes away, it's wiped out. So it's not stored, it's the same as swiping a card.
But does an outside entity have access to somebody's fingerprint?
No, it's a memory on the time clock itself.
I would like further information before I would approve that, just to make sure for their protection and safety.
Mr. Mayor?
The name is not
Do you-
associated with it.
Do you know specifically what other information you would like?
Well, I mean, it threw a flag up when they started talking about biometric data, and then they were talking elsewhere where we have to have a policy on how to handle all this stuff, and that was part of the agreement, and before we leap, I want to look a little more and make sure that we're not.
How are the time clocks now? Fingerprint?
I've been here over 10 years. The clocks
I
have been.
thought it had been, thought it had been a while.
We have a PPI, personal identifiable, I can't get it out.
Hello?
Yeah. Personal identifiable information. We do have a policy that covers that. We have to, like, so,
We
which
follow,
covers your social
we
security.
follow
numbers,
open
federal.
records,
Okay,
all the open records, open meetings, so nothing gets posted.
right, so there's no
If,
personal, we can't,
if
they can't.
anybody were to, if the company would in any way be able to see the fingerprint, it would be assigned to a employee number. There's no name.
Right.
It's just the way they had all that stuff worded in there, it threw some flags up for me, and I just have to stop.
It's a new federal policy that just started, so we're not actually collecting identifiable
Terry?
personal information with names.
But you've been following the Oklahoma,
Yes, sir.
so which has been in place for several years.
That's been happening forever. GRDA's done that for years. I mean, that's nothing new. We just have an employee number. You don't type your name or anything. You have an employee number and everything works off of that.
Terry, did you have a comment?
Well, the city attorney was out of the room at the time. Chris had a question or a concern in a paragraph on the page of the contract agreement with this time clock about possible potential invasion of people's privacy, and I didn't know if you had any input you wanted to, or Chris, if you had any questions that he might be able to help you with on that, or ease your concern.
I'll just let
It's
him look.
boilerplate that you would have in an agreement like this for the protection of them to make sure that it's covered. And it is covered under the Open Records Act as well as just general policy on private data. So I don't have that concern on this.
Okay.
This appears to be this company's way of covering those bases and covering their tail and making the comments that they've made here.
Putting the obligation on the city to make sure that you're adhering to the.
Mayor, can I add, it's not just this company. Our current company sent out notices, and it's going to be, they are requesting that we also get waivers. So even if we stay with the company we're at, it's going to be the same thing. Yes, sir.
Dustin, would you like to address this?
If I could, city employee for 16 years now, so I can tell you, we've had the time clocks with the fingerprints that entire time. In addition, as a cybersecurity expert kind of in the field, I can tell you that biometrics are a layer of authentication that is actually to protect the city to prove that it is the employee who's clocking in. There's no data stored as far as the fingerprint. It is literally just an authentication, no different from your phone.
That's what we have currently. It's just, the way it read, it's so much to absorb. I just had some concerns, and it was a lot, and I just.
Absolutely. But again, like she said, it's not going anywhere. It literally stays on the device just to say, yes, this is Dustin clocking in. That's it.
Or this is employee number so-and-so clocking in.
It's a number.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin.
That degree has paid off, officer.
Other questions or comments? Thank you, Lisa. Call for vote.
Parham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Abstain.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Vance,
Yes.
Chipwood,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item L, discussion and possible action regarding hiring Michael K. Moore in the director position at Pryor Creek Recreation Center, Range G, Step 4, annual wage $65,643, effective March 22, 2023.
Motion. Second.
Motion Gantier, second Chitwood. Mr. Moore, could you please come? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael Moore. Some of you have met him, some of you have not. Please tell us something about yourself, sir.
Well, I'm from Pryor, believe it or not. We graduated from high school here back in the day. Quickly, I left town for college to Kansas, graduated from Fort Hays State. I wanted to pursue a degree in college coaching, so that took me to North Dakota to pursue my master's degree, which I was led to chase by one of my mentors at the time. So I completed that at the University of North Dakota, and then ended up getting a job local. I went there thinking I'd be in North Dakota for a couple of years, and 32 years later, I found myself there and kind of having the urge to come back to this part of the country. So ended up moved from coaching to athletic director, wellness center director at the university I was at. And like I said, did that for many years. And then end of 17, early 18, took a job at the Y in Pittsburgh, Kansas. That was my opportunity to come back a little bit closer. And then got a little bit closer just about 2 years ago, moved over on the lake there, Grand Lake, and started working in Langley as business manager for a guy that I knew back in the day. I needed some help, and so I helped him for almost 2 years. And then this opportunity presented itself, and which is a little more in my wheelhouse, and coming back to my hometown. And the more I learned about the opportunity and what it meant to the community and all, it kind of got my juices flowing again. So I applied, and next thing you know, here I am. So I'd be happy to field any questions anybody might have.
Your resume is in the packet. I trust all of our council has read that and digested it. And you've met, this would be what, the third time that you've met?
Third trip here, yeah.
Third trip.
Yeah, so looking forward.
Mr. Moore, I understand that you have a very good experience with grant writing in the past. And I'm hoping that maybe we can use that expertise for the city overall instead of just the rec center to potentially help with that area.
Well, that's some of my background, is not just the revenue that the entity produces that I'm involved in, but the college I came from was a small college, and we were funded by the state, but that was basically for the basics. And in athletics, it's very competitive, and so we spend a lot of time figuring out how we can raise our own money to enhance what we're doing. And so at that level, we got into sponsorships and those kinds of things. At the Y in Pittsburgh, very similar. We got into grant writing a little bit, and that honestly was my first experience, and it went okay. I've done a little research about what we've got going on around here in different areas, and so as I've been mentally preparing for the position, just kind of trying to think about the things I can do to enhance. I know we have some sales tax funding, we have some membership funding, but facilities and the need to provide more is there everywhere. So we're always trying to think about what can we do to enhance what we're doing. So.
Very good. Mr. Britton.
First of all, council, I'd like to thank you guys very much for welcoming Mr. Moore to this, to his new role. Obviously, I hope you vote that way whenever you get the vote, because I know it's not voted yet, but just throwing in a plug. But I'd also like to thank Jessica for her service to our community, to our rec center. She's done an absolute wonderful job. She's kind of set the standard, some big shoes to fill for Mr. Moore. He realizes that and understands that, and so it would be remiss by not thanking Ms. Tiger for her service.
Absolutely. Questions, comments? Thank you, Mike.
Okay, thank you all.
Call for vote?
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chipwood,
Yes.
Parham.
Yes.
Motion carries. It's about, we've been going almost 2 hours. We'll take a 5-minute break. Try to do it in 5 minutes. Takes a little longer to get your order.
Yeah.
Long enough. There's a lot of complex stuff to deal with this.
Well, you got through it.
Yes.
He's here. How you doing?
All right.
Yep.
I'm thinking probably October 1st, I'm done.
Are you?
I talked to, I got some health stuff. I said, I'll work and get this stuff in order. So come July or so, whatever time I have left, I said, I don't want to come back.
You still have your insurance, or won't you? Because you can pay your insurance without having a spouse with what they'll give you.
Yeah, it'll cost me $300 some dollars a month.
Well, yeah, but we got a deal where they're gonna pay you that much anyway. So they'll pay you that much anyway. So
No,
you're-
it's $600 some dollars. My policy after they pay their $150 or $100, whatever, it comes out to $3 something. That's
Oh,
what that's what
okay.
my claims pay.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's $600 a month or so, but it's when they take
You're
out,
in your late fifties, though, aren't you?
I'll be 61 April.
61? I thought you were still
I'm on
in
the way
your
to
fifties.
62. I got health stuff. I'm seriously thinking about putting one.
But you gotta remember that at 62, you can start hitting that social security.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
I've been real confused here lately, and I had trouble a couple of weeks ago at work, and I didn't know that.
That's not good.
A friend of mine, she had her stroke last weekend, right? She got out today, took her to Tulsa yesterday, and checked it out, and I've had a lot of the same things she had. Today I was sitting there, I'm like, I said, what's wrong? I said, I don't know what to do, Dave. I said, I don't even know what to do.
Huh. That's not good.
Okay.
Huh?
One time deal.
There's two different deals, and I think it was 17 something.
Yeah.
Huh? No,
Well,
I don't think so.
Yeah, sometimes I don't remember to do that. How are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's call the meeting back to order.
Finally got to use it.
You know, we were able to do that in 8 minutes.
Wow.
Pretty good.
But we're missing one.
Oh, well, Randy, he's coming. He's coming.
Stuff about the motel tax.
All right, so now we're on, now's the one where you get to explain it.
It doesn't even come out.
I was trying to follow those checks.
Okay, let's resume. Thank you very much. We'll resume on item Q. Discussion and possible action regarding the hotel motel final expense report from Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $2,300 for the 2022 Nativity Museum Christmas pop-up from Hotel Motel Chamber account 757555090. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion Chitwood.
Second.
Second Shropshire. Discussion.
Yes, I see the $218 one, $118. Is the one for $2,000, the Pryor Holding LLC? I see.
Which page are you on, Chris?
Page 101?
Page
This is
101.
nativity.
Yes, and this check here, I'm trying to figure out this 2336.
So it was over.
Okay, so it was over, okay.
Yeah, anything over, we'll just take that out of our fund.
Okay, I was just trying to understand it. Okay, thank you. That
I'll
was
just go
my,
ahead and stand here. 'cause-
Other questions?
no, sir, not on that one.
Call for vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Abstain?
Gantier.
Yes.
Item R, discussion and possible action regarding hotel motel final expense report from Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $2,900 for the 2022 Christmas Parade of Lights from Hotel Motel Chamber account 757555092. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion Chitwood, second Shropshire. Discussion.
Yes, I'm trying to, on this 110, page 110 on the packet. Is this just a standard blank type of form? Because it wasn't specifically to us, I see,
Right there. PA speakers, mics, one sound technician, added speakers down the block.
so it was up there, not, okay. All right, just clarification, thank you.
Other questions, comments?
It's simple stuff.
Sorry, boss.
Here to answer any questions.
Call for vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Abstain?
Gantier,
Yes,
Lamar,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item S, discussion and possible action regarding hotel motel final expense report from Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $5,000 from 2023 OK Tackle Hunting Boat Show from Hotel Motel Chamber account 757555090. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Shropshire, second Chitwood. Discussion.
yes, my question on this one, the sponsor of the event, Montgomery, we didn't actually do the advertising, we just gave them money to do the advertising?
That's correct.
Okay, because I thought it was different than that, that's all. That was a point of
Yeah, and
clarification.
they invoiced us and we paid off the invoice.
Okay, thank you.
Other discussion, comments? Call for vote.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Barham,
Abstain?
Gantier,
Yes,
Lamar,
Yes. Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
And on behalf of the Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to thank you guys all for voting for that. That's a in these hotel motel grants, we take that out of our general fund to pay for in advance, and then we go through the process of 3 different boards, our board and the committee, and then the council. So thank you very much. So that reimbursement is greatly needed back into our general revenue, so.
And another
Much
thing, too, is
appreciated.
That money comes out of a special tax that comes when somebody rents a hotel or motel.
That is correct.
It doesn't come out of the general fund
That
or
is
anywhere in
correct.
our budget.
And this
It comes
bud-
from I'm gonna use the word excise taxes, I don't know a better thing to call it.
Yeah.
It comes from a separate tax that's paid when somebody uses a hotel or motel here, and then that money is put into an account, and then you guys decide where and when it goes.
That is correct, and that is governed by a board of your peers, and then to the budget committee, and then to the council, and so we've tried to follow the steps of, showing the expense receipts, and that's basic, that applies to grants. When I ask for a specific grant or route a grant, I have to go through that process. The other portion that's allotted to us is through ordinance, and so we use that for promotional and things like that.
Yep.
And I would also like to say a special thank you to Danny Hendricks from the Park Board, or from the
Event Center.
Mays County Event Center. He's done a wonderful job in helping us on this boat, sport, and tackle show, which brought in a lot of revenue to support what you just said, Councilor Schwab's to fill our hotels and our restaurants. And we've done some studies on that. Yvette's going to actually give a report to you guys at some point in time that says the impact that made on because we feel like the return on investment, if we show reports, the impact that brings, that will help better understand what a good program this is.
And again, how many tickets were sold?
So in the first, it was close to 10,000. If it hadn't been for the Super Bowl, there'd have been over 10,000 tickets that were sold. And then on the very first day in the 23-year history, they set a record for attendance in the first day.
And so if you figure Pryor's got about 9,500 people, we doubled our population in Pryor during that weekend, didn't we?
That's correct.
We did.
And we have a meeting set with them next week to discuss next year's, she's keeping me straight, next year's events. And so what we were trying to do at the chamber is to be very, very proactive in everything that we're doing. So instead of waiting until the last moment to have conversations, we're having conversations in advance and way early so that we can properly plan for next year's event, because they are going to come back.
And I spoke with the event sponsor as well, and he's got a lot of good ideas. I know that he's gonna get with you on that. It's got the potential to be much, and it was good this year. I went, it was good. But it's got the potential to be much better with a few little, well, not little, but a few things that I think are within attainable reach.
Absolutely. And it drives a lot of the traffic came from Tulsa, really. They recognized that the market that they were missing was Tulsa, because they wouldn't go to Grove. It's a little far out, so they were catching all the traffic in the Four Corner states. Yeah. Missouri and Arkansas and Kansas. And so what they found is more people came from the Tulsa market, which drives that tax revenue to our city, and then kind of puts us like, hey, Pryor's got some stuff going on down here, so let's, maybe they want to be a part of that. So it's a good deal. Again, thank you very much for approving these, and I can't say that I won't come back, because I probably will.
Since Houston mentioned the report, and I had told the council that I was going to make a report, it is specifically for this event. However, the whole purpose of me doing the research for the report is for us to be able to report the economic impact that it's had on our community, not just for this event, but for hopefully in the future, for us to be able to report what it's done to our sales tax, what it's done to the quality of life, what it's done to the community development in general. So, and I will get that as soon as we get the sales tax from February.
We'll look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Houston. Item number Z, discussion and possible action regarding proposed street project, streets encompassed by Green Country Mobile Home Park, A, B, and C streets, and pending inclusion.
I don't think you guys voted on that.
Did we not vote?
Better.
Had some
I-
great discussion.
Please vote, 'cause I need to.
Please vote, yes. Call for vote, please. Thank you, Houston. I thought we voted.
Was that an act of desperation?
We did.
We voted.
I thought we did.
Houston, we voted.
Did we vote?
Vote again.
Yeah.
Does it double if we vote again?
If we vote again, it might change. Are you sure you
You're
want
right.
to do that?
Oh, we did. You're right, Houston, we did vote, and then we had more discussion after.
Yeah.
So we're good. We're good. We'll repeat item Z, discussion possible action regarding Proposed street project, streets encompassed by Green Country Mobile Home Park, A, B, and C streets, and pending inclusion of other streets within the park if needed, at an estimated cost of $180,845 and expensed from street asphalt overlay account 141455410, with the new estimate from engineering, the update estimate for all Green Country Mobile Home Park streets, A through G, is $259,651.50, including asphalt overlay and concrete curb and gutter as required on all Green Country Mobile Home Park streets. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion Shropshire? Second Lamar. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I've asked this be pulled because I talked with Buddy. We were talking about some things, and he had made the comment that he wasn't sure, in his opinion, that all of these needed to be done. And he was supposed to get with the engineer, and he just hadn't had time, and I was hoping he would be here tonight to discuss it. I would like, unless new information has come forth since yesterday, I would like to see it tabled so he can speak on those things that he was mentioning.
Okay, so let's try to get an understanding that this amount of money is an amount of money that is estimated.
Available.
Is estimated and available. Also, the asphalt overlay, concrete, curb, gutter, as required. So what will happen is our city engineer, along with our street department supervisor, will go assess what the needs are there, and then there will be a job that goes out to bid. So this 259, 651.50, that would be, correct me if I speak wrong, Steve Powell, our city engineer, is here. That would probably be on the outside of the project as an estimate. What we know, if you would like to come speak to that, Steve, I would appreciate it. What we know is that there's repair that needs to be done there, but the assessment of each little part has not been made yet. What we're doing is we're working from an estimate so that we can go out to bid and get council's approval to go out to bid. Once we go out to bid, we will know what the costs are, and we will also know the exact scope once we go to bid. Did I say that correctly?
You did. Basically, this is an estimate. It is a little bit different than we've done it in years past, Councilman, in that we've broken it down into a couple of different packages here, especially with the alleys in one location and the arterial streets in another. But the results are the same. It gives us a budget to work from for the upcoming street rehab program. And so from that, we will identify streets. We do need to meet with Buddy and Bobby and walk the streets and make sure we are all on the same page as to what we see as what the problems are, what need to be replaced, and what Bobby and Buddy see that need to be replaced. So even though we've identified streets A through G, we may find out that there's one street that absolutely does not need any work on it, or that the work that it needs on it is so minor that it doesn't need to be done by a contracting agency. It could be something done by city crews when they've got the time.
I believe A, C, and D are probably gonna be okay. It's the east-west streets in interior that's probably gonna need it.
Yeah, he said
AC
2 or
and D
3
has
of them.
been- AC and D has been overlaid, and
Right, C. C has been overlaid. I'm not sure that I can say A has, but C was done recently, a couple of years ago.
yeah, it's about that thick. In fact, when you try to pull in your driveway, it's a big hump to try to get in there, so.
I want to talk about that.
We'll talk about that. I understand. But anyway, that wasn't something you guys did, but that was, we're on D Street, so I know D Street's that way too.
Right.
It's overlaid too. And I believe A Street, or what Taylor coming up from Taylor Street is A, and so that's pretty good road too.
Last word I got from Buddy was that we needed to take a look at the connectors to Fifth Street as well.
Right.
And that needs to be done as well as part of this overall program. We would like to have the flexibility, and I think the way this is worded, it gives us the flexibility to go in and look at these streets.
Sure.
And assess each individual street individually to determine exactly what needs to be done. Because we don't want to do the same thing on every street if we don't have
You
to.
don't have to, no.
Well, the concern that he expressed, and this, I'm trying to recall it the best, is he wants it to be as close as possible as what we need so that the contractor can give an accurate bid. That's because he doesn't want them to think it's a bigger or smaller project than it is and not bid. Now, I'm just relaying the message that when I had talked to him, I was there talking about something else and we got on this subject. So it's not that anybody I think is against this. He's just wanting to make sure the way the bidding would happen would be easier to manage.
And there will be at least 2 or 3 more opportunities, not only for Buddy and staff to look at it, but also to come before the street committee as well as this council before we have plans that are done. So there's going to be additional opportunities for people to have input where we've made technical observations. So if there's any additional changes, Buddy and Bobby will have plenty of opportunities to take a look at it.
Mayor, have you heard any of these concerns in the meetings that you've had with Buddy?
Yes, Buddy and I have talked, and so,
So he was good with this?
yes.
How this got amended, and I think this is the second time before the board, is that we were asked originally to include the east-west streets, which we did, and then that's why the number went up, is because at a subsequent meeting, it was asked that all the streets be evaluated or looked at, and that's why the budget has gone up. But that doesn't mean necessarily that every street will be repaired.
I've got a quick question, Mayor. Is this a revisit from a previous agenda on this item?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we need to make sure that that's clear on the record, because we voted that other, 2 weeks ago or whatever
Yes.
it was.
Yes.
So we
The
need
word-
to make clear that this is a restatement of that item on that agenda.
Not on
We
top
are
of
now replacing that with this.
Okay, excellent.
So I guess that'll show in the minutes that we approved tonight.
Yeah, it'll show in the minutes that we approved tonight. It also shows in the minutes, well, that we have right now. It'll,
But the minutes from last meeting, do you have those?
yes,
there?
yes.
So what item was that on that previous agenda?
Ooh, remember that.
Hold on, pulling it up. Was that last meeting?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It should be at the top of our packet.
And it was towards the bottom of the first page, if I remember correctly, but
I know you got 100 pages to go through. So let me see if I can do it this way.
That is item,
Page 16. Page 16 of the packet, the last meeting's agenda. Into that.
Is it item P and Q? Item P?
that is item P of the consent agenda.
So that was your Green Country Mobile Home, was item P at the last meeting?
Item P of the consent agenda, yes.
So in your motion to approve this item, I'd ask you to amend your motion to show that this replaces item P on the previous agenda.
Very good. Who made the motion and the second?
Shropshire.
Mine, I'll make that amendment. Make this a replacement.
And Chitwood?
And I will,
Or, I'm sorry, Lamar.
I will adjust the motion accordingly too. Second.
Thank you very much. Thank you, council.
Yeah.
Other questions or comments? Hearing none, call for vote.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Braham,
Yes.
Gantier,
yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
We will have the same item on AA as we had previous, so referring to item Q on the agenda from last meeting.
Why are we changing it?
Because we did not have the wording correctly, so let me read it.
Okay.
Item AA, discussion possible action regarding proposed street project, downtown corridor alleys from Mill to Kauai, either side of Graham Avenue, at an estimated cost of $57,145 and expensed from street asphalt overlay account 141455410. After further review, the updated estimate is $180,000 $577.94 with significant base repair. Is there a motion?
I will make the motion.
Yes, the motion. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I will make the motion that we do discussion and possible action on AA, which is a revision of Q on the 7th of March meeting.
I'll second it.
So motion second. Now discuss, did we do that appropriately? Yes.
And while we're on that,
So discussion, yes?
yes, sir, that needs to reflect in the previous minutes or no?
No.
Okay.
No, just these.
I was just, because you brought something up and I wanted to make sure, okay, that's all I had.
Discussion?
Yes. Just to clarify which alleys we're talking about specifically, because in the 7th of March meeting, we had specific alleys listed on there, and this one is more generic that says the downtown corridor alleys. So I'm assuming that does not mean every single alley, but what specific alleys are we talking about?
We're talking about.
And I will include the motion, amend that motion if need be.
Okay. We are going to evaluate the alleys from Elliott to Mill Street on one block either side of Graham.
The east-west.
The east-west alleys, and the specific alleys that were identified in the previous minutes, north and south, that were identified extending south or north from those locations. So there are some specific north-south alleys, and there were some items that were brought up at the street committee meeting that were asked to be looked at, and that's one reason that the price is greatly changed, because in a couple of places, there's really actually not an alley, there's just grass, and we're actually gonna fill in some areas that should have been paved before, and now they're not. So those are full-depth patches and work to be done. Alley work is a little bit different than street work. Alley works are much more confined, and you've got a much more defined profile that you've got to follow. So that's why these costs are presented this way.
So what is the corridor?
It'll be we're going to look at and evaluate all the alleys from Elliott Street to Mill Street, one block either side of Graham Avenue, in the specific north-south alleys, and I don't have that list with me.
It's this alley right behind City Hall that goes by the utility office here to pay your bill, this alley that goes that way, and then the other alley is the one that goes from Mill behind
The bank.
the bank,
To southeast First Street.
the dollar store, et
Dollar.
cetera.
Yeah. You want to call it McClellan's.
Okay,
Here
so
you go.
in the north-south will be from half block north to the half blocks, or to the alleyway from the north here to the south.
Yes, that's correct.
To include the one from the First Priority Bank going southbound behind the old Key Funeral Home.
Right. Yes, that was identified as well.
Thank you. It's very difficult to clarify all of the alleyways and to give description of the alleyways, because they're not listed 1, 2, 3, 4, et cetera. I'd also like to thank Terry Allward with the paper in bringing this to my attention, that we needed to do something different with these motions. And I appreciate that, Terry. Thank you very much. Sure.
North-south alleys are not addressed on item.
They're not addressed on the AA.
That's what I'm asking about
Yeah,
the
that's-
corridor.
Because-
If you define it from Mill to Kauai, that's going east and west, right?
Yes, sir.
And so the north-south boundary would be the outer limits of the corridor, right?
Yes.
So if you define it in that fashion, we need to know what the south edge of the corridor is and what the north edge of the corridor alleys, and then that would encompass all alleys in that corridor from Mill to Hawaii.
I believe the Main Street corridor is defined in our comprehensive plan. I can look it up real quick.
The Main Street corridor is Graham Avenue from Elliott, or going west from Elliott to Mill Street, and from northeast First Street to southeast First Street.
So would all of these alleys be encompassed within that area that we just talked about?
We can look at all of the alleys, but in
I'm
that
just
area.
asking, the alleys that you're gonna look at, are they within those boundaries that we just talked about?
Yes, they are.
Well, then you're okay.
Yes.
Approving this motion, you've defined the area.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
You just haven't pinpointed it.
And that's okay.
That's fine.
You're gonna look at all of the alleys within that geographical area, whether they run east or west or north or south.
Mr. Aylward, did that clarify your question?
That's not what that agenda item says. It says from the downtown corridor alleys from Mill to Kauai, either side of Graham Avenue.
And that's why I say we have to define the downtown corridor. So,
Here it's defined as either side of Graham Avenue.
But it would not go to Elliott. It would stop at Kauai.
if your motion is for that corridor definition, then you're okay in proceeding. Just amend your motion to define the north and the south boundary of the corridor that you make reference to in this agenda item.
So, Mr. Ritchie, if the downtown corridor is already defined, have we not made the definition?
It's not defined anywhere by ordinance. I mean, we have a
Okay.
comprehensive plan is at the same downtown corridor that we're talking about here. So if we make our motion for the downtown corridor being from Mill to Kauai, and on
No,
the north side
Mill
from,
Mill to Elliott, Mill to the downtown corridor, Mill to Elliott, and northeast First to southeast First.
I don't think we can do that because it wouldn't be on the agenda and therefore we,
it's the corridor.
He's defining the corridor.
that's what got us last time. We added stuff that wasn't on the agenda.
Okay, how about we do this?
Table it until we can get it figured
How
out.
about we do this? Because this is the second time we've done this, and I think we're gonna do it a third time again,
Yeah.
coming up. We can either table it, or we can leave this one as is for the east-west alley, and then at the next council meeting, address the other north-south ones that were left out of this item.
But you're still working out of the same pile of money.
The price is.
Yes,
That's the problem.
Yeah,
And when I go look at them, I'm gonna look at all of them at the same time.
you're gonna have to split the funds here up.
Is there a problem in tabling it and getting this language?
Motion to
worked out?
table?
No, there's
No.
no, there's no problem in
It's not a
table.
time constraint.
I'll amend my motion to table it to the next council meeting, and we need to make sure that we have it specifically laid out in the agenda to include, like the street committee had, a map that's color-coded showing the alleys in bold, so it's very clear as to which ones we're talking about.
And I'll second that.
We can do. Motion table and second, and you heard the conditions of the table. Any other discussion? Call for vote to table.
Barham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes?
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood.
Yes.
Moving on to item BB, discussion possible action. We okay? Item BB, discussion possible action regarding declaring surplus 19 expired sets of body armor at the Pryor Creek Police Department. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Chitwood, second Lamar. Mr. Ritchie,
The reason I asked that BB and CC be pulled off, can't talk about one without talking about the other, really. When we declare things surplus, we're supposed to then deal with how to dispose of them at the same time. the disposal of this talks about donating them to Parker Security. That would not be allowed. We can't donate surplus property to a private entity. The other thing that I have is, I have concerns about liability. Body armor is designed to, keep you from getting shot. And if we give these things away to somebody, or if we even sell them to somebody, and something happens, then we have issues. I have a feeling there's probably a company out there, I don't know this, but all police forces have body armor, the military has body armor. I think there's gotta be some company or something that maybe we could talk to about selling surplus body armor to them, that maybe they refurbish or whatever they do with it. So, I would just ask you.
Yeah, somewhere.
DD, and then when we get to CC, same thing.
Here's one.
Amend my motion to table?
Okay.
Motion table, Chitwood, who seconded?
Lamar?
Mark?
Yes.
All right, there's motion to table. On BB, call for vote.
Gantier?
Yes.
Lamar?
Yes.
Shropshire?
Yes.
Nance?
Yes.
Chitwood?
Yes.
Barham?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item CC, discussion and possible action regarding donation of expired body armor from the Pryor Creek Police Department to Parker Security with waiver of liability.
Motion to table.
Second?
Motion to table Gantier and second Chitwood. Discussion? Hearing none, call for vote.
Lamar?
Yes.
Shropshire?
Yes.
Nance?
Yes.
Chitwood?
Yes.
Barham?
Yes.
Gantier?
Yes.
Item DD, discussion and possible action regarding declaring surplus approximately 123 bicycles and 3 scooters awarded to the city of Pryor Creek by Mays County District Court. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Motion Shropshire, second Chitwood.
Similar to the last one that I asked pulled off, when we declare surplus, we've got to dispose of it or fix a method for disposal. When we have item EE that just indicates to a nonprofit organization, that's just, we don't know who it's going to. If we're gonna take council action to make a donation of these items, we need to go ahead and be able to designate who we're giving them to. So I would just ask that DD and EE
Table.
table.
Do we know who they're going to?
Yes. Do we?
Yes. The Bikers Against Child Abuse, they're a 501c3 nonprofit. We've donated to them in the past with surplus bicycles.
Let's just table it and we can do it at the next meeting then, if that's, okay.
Change motion to table and second to table.
I second it.
Who made the motion?
Shropshire?
Yes, I'll make a motion to table.
Chitwood.
Thank you.
Second.
And I second.
Chitwood, second.
Yes.
All right, call for vote.
Shropshire?
Yes.
Nance?
Yes.
Chitwood?
Yes.
Barham?
Yes.
Gantier?
Yes.
Lamar?
Yes.
Item EE, discussion and possible action regarding donation of bicycles and scooters from Pryor Creek Police Department to a nonprofit organization. Bicycles and scooters be cleaned and prepared and given to Mays County children. Is there a motion?
Motion to table.
Yes.
Shropshire, second Gantier. Call for vote.
Nance?
Yes.
Chitwood?
Yes.
Gantier? I'm sorry, Barham?
Yes.
Gantier?
Yes.
Lamar?
Yes.
Shropshire?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 7, committee reports, budget personnel, Shropshire.
The 11th of before 11/23, we're gonna do it.
11 April.
April, yeah.
And ordinance insurance, Shropshire.
None at this time.
All right, and street committee, not at this time. Item 8, unforeseeable business, no of none. Item 9, adjourn. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Nance, second Chitwood. Call for vote.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Wareham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Motion carries. We'll call Pryor Public Works Authority to order. Item 2, approve minutes of March 7, 2023 meeting.
Motion.
Motion Chitwood. Is there a second?
Second.
Second Gantier. Call for vote.
Wareham,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes. Motion carries. Unforeseeable business, there is none. Item 4 is adjourned. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion Nance, second Chitwood. Call for vote.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Wareham,
Yes.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.